Hello students, so I'm out today, but this is what we're going to be working this week. We're going to still stay in our phase 2 of the project, and this week we are going to present, and there is few reasons for why we're going to stay in phase 2 and not move to phase 3. Alright, so let's see. Phase 2 now is extended to be 3 weeks instead of our original 2 weeks, and we're adding a presentation element this week. So this is the whole thing you're going to be working on today. So we are basically going to present our prototype stage of the project. All right, why are we doing this? Because EOC testing is coming up next week and it will disturb the flow of our project because y'all are gonna have a whole week where you don't do anything about the project and then you come back to work on the project and that will probably throw you off. So we're just going to extend phase 2 to cover that. And now let's talk about presentation. So the presentation will be 5 to 10 minutes, and if you went over the time or under time, you're going to lose point. So make sure to stick with your time limit. So let's look at the presentation element. This is the presentation rubric. I'm going to go over it real quick. The place you want to be placed in your rubric is the excellent. If you aimed for this, you're probably gonna get it or get good. If you aimed for something less than excellent, you will probably not get the full point for the presentation. So make sure you aim higher. And I'm not gonna go in details on every different section, but the presentation will have 2 grades. One is individual grade and one is a group grade. And every single group member need to be part of this presentation. All right, so to help you all out, I created this thing called slide deck breakdown. All those links are on Canvas, by the way, so you have access to them. So let's look at this. This is a suggestion for how your presentation flow should go. It does not mean you have to have this, but this just to help people who don't know where to start. And everything in this page is a suggestion. It's not what I'm expecting you to do. So just keep that in mind when you're working on your presentation. So we can say we can have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 slides, and we have 10 minutes, so about a minute or 2 per slide. And you can of course have more slides, less slides. So let's look at it and figure out what we are going to do. So the first part is an introduction. Anyone of the group can start the introduction. Ideally, the CEO will be the best fit for this, but again, anyone can do it. It doesn't have to be the CEO. You're briefly introducing your group members, mention the idea you worked on, and mention what importance of the prototype in your design and development. Like, why is it important to have a prototype? Then we are going to talk about the prototype, and here the lead developer or designer can do it. Again, anyone else can also do it. I don't want to have the same person doing the whole thing, so the roles need to be divided. What is a prototype? Basically give us a quick definition. Describe the current version of your prototype, like this is the first iteration, this is the second, third, and so on and so forth. And then show us or explain how does the prototype work. And finally, if you can do a live demo of your prototype, that will be great because we want to see how it works. If you can't, then just show us different images of the prototype working. And then every team member will start working or talking about how much they contributed to the project. And this is where the individual grade starts. So the first person is going to come, CEO, and they will talk about the project and how they managed to organize the project, how did they coordinate the teamwork, and how they dealt with the challenge that came through the project. Lead developer will talk about the technical aspect, explain why did they use this software or this programming language or this website to build their app, because you used it for a reason, of course, and then highlight the key features that the prototype have. The designer will talk about the color scheme, why they chose that layout, and so on and so forth. And then the tester will talk about how they tested the app and what feedback they had or they gave the group to make the app better. And then we're gonna be done with all the roles, all the 4 roles we have. So if you were in one of those roles, for example, you're the CEO and you didn't do your job, basically you won't have anything to say. And of course, you can make things up in the presentation, but just remember, I was in class the whole time, so I know what actually happened. So be honest and say what exactly you did, and we're gonna move from there. And then finally, of course, like if you didn't do something, don't claim to been doing it, because when you get asked a question, you wouldn't know how to answer it. So just be honest, do your best. And then finally, the closing, and this one can be any one of the group members. Summarize what y'all talked about. Quick mention of what is the next step for the prototype, and thank the audience for attention, and ask them if they have any questions. And there's just few tips to get more points on your presentation. If everyone in the group stick to 1 to 2 minutes, you should be able to be done with the presentation within the time limit. And of course, practice, practice, practice. You have Monday, you will have Wednesday, you have Friday, and then we're gonna present in the EOC week. So you will have 3 full working days to work on them, or 2 days to work and then 1/2 a day. And if you are in 5th period, you have 5 days, 50 minutes a day. So you have enough time to come up with the prototype. Will this make you change some things in your prototype to be able to do this presentation better? Probably, because some people didn't do anything in the prototype. It was like 1 or 2 people in the group just working on it. Doesn't matter if it's because Flutterflow doesn't allow more people to join, but there was so many ways to divide the work. And yes, as your teacher, I didn't tell you you should do this or do that, but I did walk around and talk to the people who were not doing anything with their groups and being like, hey, y'all haven't been doing anything, you should be helping your groups. Most of the response were, they don't need help. That's not how a group works. So just keep that in mind, okay? And if you need to start doing things so you know what you're going to be doing on your presentation, this is your chance. It's not over yet. All right? Good luck and take care, and I will see you all Wednesday.